I recently read the book Grit by Angela Duckworth. Angela is a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, and she's obsessed with finding out the answers to the question, who's successful and why? She's conducted studies involved national spelling champions, elite military training graduates, and top corporate salespeople to determine what was the biggest predictor of their success. She wondered, was it talent or was it effort? Now, our society would like us believe that it would be talent, right? We have the tendency to marvel at national talent and overlook the importance of effort. Surveys show the people that put in the effort, but we don't really believe that it can compete with talent. We often discount our own abilities when going against people who have a high IQ or are naturally gifted. But Angela has found that the following is true. So that study after study, talent counts once, effort counts twice. So Angela explains this using a simple formula. Talent times effort equals skill. But skill times effort equals achievement. So when you apply effort to any base level talent, you get skill. When you apply effort to skill, you get achievement. The science shows that grit, the sustained application of effort towards a long-term goal, is the biggest predictor of lifelong achievement. For some, it's an inconvenient truth. Some people like to see natural talent and use it as an excuse why they would never achieve what those people would achieve. And don't even bother trying. But for others, it can be quite liberating knowing that you're not doomed to mediocrity just due to a lack of talent. If you put in the effort, you can achieve great things. Sure, there are limitations. All of us can't make the NBA basketball team. We're not all 6'9". But you could become one of the best players in your local basketball team. By talent counts once and effort counts twice. That way we can be hopeful to someday be more than we think we can. And we can achieve great things despite not winning the talent lottery. But being gritty, it's hard. Resisting the endless temptations to quit or just the failures are so difficult to deal with. But Angela says that we all have the ability to grow our grit if we direct our focus in 4 specific ways. So first, develop a fascination for what you're trying to do. Second, strive to improve each day. Third, remind yourself of the greater purpose. And fourth, adopt a growth mindset. Charles Darwin admitted to not having great quickness or apprehension, and to discover the mysteries of the natural science without possessing supernatural intelligence. Darwin developed an obsessive fascination and was said to keep questions alive in the back of his mind. Questions that related to what he was observing that drove him to the discovery of all big things. His deep interest in natural science and constant questioning led him to the breakthrough that we now know as the theory of evolution. So what questions are most intriguing to you? So find the questions that fascinate you, and then you find the capacity to stay gritty and whilst trying to achieve something great. Next, aim to improve yourself every single day. Compete with who you were yesterday. Olympic gold medal swimmer Rowdy Gaines once said that every practice I would try to beat myself. That's what he said. If my coach gave me 10 100-meter swims one day and asked me to hold it to a minute 15 seconds, the next day it would give me 10 100-meter swims. I would always try to hold it for longer than that. Angela says that the refrains of all paragrams of grits, that whatever it takes, you think, I want to improve. So it doesn't matter how excellent you already are. So how can you carve out time each day to push your abilities and seek constant and never-ending improvement? The third way to grow our grit is to remind ourselves of the greater purpose. Angela conducted a survey of 16,000 people to determine what was their bigger contributor to grit. So gaining a feeling of pleasure or feeling a greater sense of purpose. She found that people on the upper half of the grit scale experienced a similar level of pleasure in what they were doing, but she found that higher levels of purpose directly correlated to higher levels of grit. Angela says the most gritty people see their ultimate aims as deeply connected to the world beyond themselves. You can be a bricklayer and simply laying the bricks for a cathedral, or you can be a bricklayer building the house of God. You know, it's up to you to determine what purpose or what greater meaning your work has. Whatever you come up with has the capacity to raise your level. The last way to grow your grit is to develop a growth mindset. So a CEO of the world's largest supplier of mutual funds. So in his organization, he looked at who was successful and who was not, and he found that long-term success was dependent on a core belief. Those that believed, I can't learn anymore, I am what I am, this is how I do things, routinely fail to move up to a senior level. So to be gritty, you have to scrap the idea of your abilities are fixed, because it's simply not true. Neuroscience has shown that we have an enormous capacity to change our brain and to learn new skills as we get older. The brain is plastic. You can mold it to its sustained effort and experience. Reflect on the time that you started something new and you were scared that you couldn't learn it, but you actually did. Use the memory of that experience to destruct any beliefs that your abilities are fixed. In the end, Angela says that learning to stick to something is a life skill that we could all develop. By remembering that the science shows that grit matters more than talent, and that we all have the capacity to grow our grit, we can develop the confidence to start taking action, despite how untalented we might think we are. That was the core message that I got from Angela's book. If you got a different core message, let me know. She's got much more material to help you understand the science of achievement. So I highly recommend you read the book. All right, thank you very much.